some of the things from Tennessee State you learned that helps you today, like with coaching kids, with helping, assisting them? Like, what are some things you learned at TSU that helps you today?
One is handle adversity. I mean, you go to HBCU, you're going to have to handle some adversity. And then two is just more so mentoring. So when I went to TSU, I got involved in SGA. I got involved in mentorship programs at the school. I got involved with, gym, some other things like just this, general educated men, which was a big movement on campus. And just wanted to get involved with things to make an impact on the younger generation. Growing up, like I said, I grew up in Miami, military kid. My brother kind of ran the streets or whatever, so I had to be like an older brother a little quick. My dad worked 2 jobs. My mom worked 2 jobs, and I had a little brother. So I had to learn quick, as far as, being a young man. And I always tapped into, my little cousins. I'm kind of the older cousin out of my little cousins. So I was always like the older brother, quote unquote, figure around my family. So I think just understanding that and having that foundation has made me, kind of who I am or mold me to who I am today. And just having that ability to be able to lead the younger generation and wanted to impact the younger generation. I think that helped me transition to TSU, and TSU kind of enhanced that, that level to be able to adjust, to be able to be handle adversity, and also to be able to lead.
Was you ever purged? Talk about adversity. Was you ever purged in class?
Oh yes, I was purged. So here's the thing. I was purged not because of anything I did. So I played football at TSU. And the athletic department didn't put my money on my on my account when it needed to be, and I got purged. But I got it fixed quickly, though. I got it fixed quickly, and that was, I had a scholarship, partial scholarship at Tennessee State for football. So I was an athlete. I was an athlete back in the day.
Why TSU, bro? HBCU, Miami, Atlanta, a lot of HBCUs in those areas. Like, what brought you to Tennessee State in Nashville, man?
So I was going on tours and having visits from different schools. So I'll never forget this like yesterday. So I had went to Duluth High School. If you Atlanta, everybody know Duluth High School. Very, very non-Black. I'll tell you that. I just wanted to go to an HBCU. First of all, I wanted to get away from Atlanta, just be a buck about that. And I knew I wanted to leave home. And so I went to Georgia Tech, Valdosta State, Coastal Carolina. I think Coastal Carolina had just opened at this time, or was newer college at this time, and TSU. On these visits, Coastal Carolina was it was new. But they were offering me a full ride. Like, I'm good on this. I didn't know what was going on around there. I had Carson Newman as well. And that was for basketball, but I didn't like that. Georgia Tech almost had me because they invited me to a Clemson game and sat behind the goalpost. And that was very, very cool. But I was like, I don't want to be in Georgia. And I went to TSU homecoming. and they brought me on that visit. And when I tell you, I made my decision that same day. And I was very involved in engineering. I love math and science. That was my favorite two subjects, which is why I chose Georgia Tech and Valdosta State, because they had good engineering programs, not only just sports as well. But then I went to TSU, and they had one of the top engineering programs at that time. And also, they had the ladies as well. So I definitely that selection was definitely made very, very quickly.
Bro, speaking about making a selection quickly, I went on no campus visits. I go to orientation, and I'm like, and that was like 2 weeks before school start. No, probably like 4 weeks. I told my folks, leave me here. I am not going back home. And when they said the ratio was like 10-1, I was like, bro, it's no dudes here. Our girls just go to college, bro. Who don't sign up for this?
I'm telling you, that tour that I went on homecoming, and it was a basketball homecoming. It wasn't a football homecoming. It was a basketball homecoming. I think it was Fisk or something like that.
Yep.
When they used to have it, and man, oh man, I tell you, I was like, "Yep, this is where I'm going to be."
You're like Jesus Shuttleworth for Ball State.
No comment.
That's a great movie, man. That's a great movie.
Great movie, by the way. That's one they don't need to remake. I know all these remakes coming up. They don't need to remake that one.
Man, they got White Man Can't Jump 2 coming out, man. I'm like, what y'all doing, man?
And they got the house party. You seen the house party joint?
Yeah, I heard about that. So I'm biased LeBron involved, so I feel like it's gonna be decent.
Okay.
Funny story. It's a homeboy I know. Like he was actually in it. You know what I'm saying? He had like a small role. Yeah, he was sending pictures like when he was on the set about 6-7 months ago, and like he sent me the trailer last week. Man, he's so crunk about it. Do you?
I mean, it's black, narrated everything. So I'm definitely gonna support it. But some just don't need to be remade. You know what I mean?
I agree, because when you remake it and it don't hit, it's like Coming to America 2. They could have left that one
all the way alone.
And I heard they were talking about doing a Harlem Nights where they won't be like everybody had kids, which sound dope, but it's like can't mess with these classics. Like leave them alone.
I actually think White Man Can't Jump is probably going to be good though.
You think so?
I think so. Hopefully, right? Hopefully.
So, Coach. So what's one or two things that keep you up at night being a head coach, man? Like.
Man, y'all got some good questions, man. Y'all must have really thought about these questions.
Listen, man, it's real life. I think about these questions. Like in interviews, I ask people this. Like when I'm interviewing for a job, I'm like, what keeps you up at night? So I kind of know what I'm getting myself into. So me knowing you being my line brother, first of all, Kappa Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Alpha Beta chapter. My front, meaning when we say front, I was holding him up, man. So he was my front, I was his back, so I held him down, man. We pushed through and made it together. But yeah, like I mean, I can only imagine the struggles you've been through. I can imagine you probably want to not give up, but it just got so hard on you. Being a young dad, having a young kid, a son and that, and then kind of like trying to be this head coach and knowing like know what you can bring to the table, but dealing with all this adversity like we talked about earlier. But like, what's one or two things that like keep you up at night? Other than the number one dude on the other team that's 25.
Yeah.
Hanging on everybody.
That part. That's definitely 1A. But I think a lot of things is that the things that you can't control, like I can't control, okay, let's take for instance. So tomorrow morning, so I have early morning workout, 6 a.m. to 7:20 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. I've been doing it for the past 2 months, right? And my fear is that somebody's gonna get hurt. That's just, before the season even starts, you know what I mean? So my fear is like, injuries because I can't control it. I don't really know. And then another thing is like, how they gonna act in school? You know what I mean? They're gonna suspend it, they're gonna fight, because those things do affect, do affect like the roster, they affect playing time, they affect, if they could be on a team. I've had kids that had some off court things that just, they couldn't be on a team. I had to kick the kid off. And you think that you don't have to deal with that type of stuff, or it may not come up, or it may come up, but I don't have to deal with that, but it does. Those things do actually, like, I worry about, like, man, I can't get these kids hurt. Do I need to calm down on working out? I mean, I also got them running cross country. Like they have to run cross country. So it's just some things that you can't control that kind of keeps me up. Other than that, like I say, if it's game time, of course, it's scouting. Are we ready? How and because we're young. I'm bringing back 8 sophomores. That's going to be on the varsity. That's kind of really unheard of. You know what I mean? So those things that you can't control really, really like keeps me up at night too.
No, that's interesting. You say that earlier point about the off the court, because I've heard basketball coaches, football coaches, college, high school, when you're dealing with young teens, they're like, when you leave out my eyesight, I don't want to get that phone call or that text message or that email. Like when they leave out your sight, you concerned. Like as a coach, like, and so like a parent in a sense, because you like anything can happen until I see them again. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's interesting you said that, because I've heard several coaches say that, you know, like you can't, like you say, you can't control it, but you just hope that they just don't do nothing crazy. Have a good time, enjoy your life, be a teenager, but be able to play, man. Like, you know, keep your grades straight, don't get kicked out of school. That's all I need.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.